I time traveled during this residency. I created works where I feel my progress just rushed and was intense. There was some form of pain, in the sudden growth. Being in the Makwande Art Residency feels so incredible. My hopes before coming to France were that I'm gonna come here, have some time to create new work. Already had ideas formulated in my mind. I already had my inspirations. So I was glad to have that space to create in a different area. But when I came here, also there's the part of integration. I have to understand what people are saying. I have to catch on with the language. That also influences how you create, because you get a sense of a feeling that's different from home. It's not, there's an unfamiliarity. When at home you know what's next, you can predict, but here I couldn't predict my next step. So even though I had my ideas that were formulated, when they came here they had to kind of like disassemble so that I can see how I can integrate myself in a new space. I really enjoy that I came here, on the 1st of May, which was it's spring. So it's the beginning of a new season. It shook me a bit because at home it was the beginning of winter. So my mind had to adjust that it's not winter, it's spring. I enjoyed seeing the bees and so many birds, and being in the nature, it kind of revived my spirit. I got new inspiration to work, and the environment woke me up. Yes, so the body of work that I created during the residency was truly inspired by my environment here. The nature that I'm seeing around me was inspired by the buildings, the sand, the rocks, the ocean. It's not even an ocean, it's the sea. It helped me to create my color palette. It helped me to tell a story from the culture that I didn't even know, but also not to forget who I am. So even though you change and you grow from what you were, it's so funny that the aspect of who you are still remains. So I feel even in my works, I document so much change, but in the same breath, there's so much stability and familiarity. It's just, I think maybe it's a matter of knowing when to let go and when to stay put. Yes, so the moments where there were studio visits in my process, while I felt exposed, while I felt tired, not ready to be seen, and people would come in the studio space whilst I'm still in my thought process, where I have to pause and accommodate them, and then afterwards go back into the process. Those were very difficult moments for me, because that's the first time that has ever happened. That's a very difficult process, because it's like someone seeing you, you have bathed, but you haven't put lotion. So they're seeing your skin still ashy. They're seeing you still disfigured. They make their own assumptions and meanings from that place of being disfigured. And that's not what you want. You want them to see the full message. But at the same time, some people, in your disfigurement and in your process, in that they can already see what you're building. And that's very exciting at the same time, because you're like, oh, so this person probably understands, maybe has gone through this kind of feeling, so they know where I'm headed. Maybe they've experienced that already in life, that they see me in the beginning of what they've experienced. Well, this residency definitely made me reflect on my process, which is very intense and very taxing on my body. Sometimes I do feel like the relationship I have with my process of creating work is it has a toxic element to it, because it strains my body. And I guess also in an extent, if my body is strained, then my spirit also gets strained. So I saw pictures of Picasso. His back, his posture wasn't good, when he was older, because he's always on the floor painting. His relationship with the work and his body was also, I could critique that, So I'm also critiquing that within myself. For some people, rest means sleeping or sitting down or being easy. It comes with a certain form of ease. Whereas when I do that, I feel frustration. I feel that when I sit down, I have so much energy. I want to create. I want to be in the process and not stop. I feel like sometimes I truly feel like, if I were just a spirit that's not limited by the physical body, then I would go on and push. So that's why the concept of rest for me is such a deeply subjective one that I'm exploring. I have so much energy that I forget that I have a body. Sometimes I even forget how I look like, how my face looks like. And when I come out of the creation process and I look at myself in the mirror, it's like, oh, there you are. This is who you are. It's a very difficult topic to think about, being present, yet that life has a sense of urgency. That time goes so quickly that sometimes in a day you can't accomplish the things you want to accomplish. So you have to budget a week. Time is kind of like a currency of its own, or a resource. So now balancing the aspect of time being a resource or a currency versus just being present and going with the flow, those two concepts are really difficult to merge. And going out and seeing the environment, seeing the museums, there's many art museums here in the south of France, that helped me to see the past and what those artists were going through. They painted what they envisioned about the future, and that was so insightful for me, because their vision of the future are things that we are living, but sometimes it's like beyond what they could have predicted. So you get to see, oh, this is where they were going, so then maybe I can take from where they left and move also forward for someone else in the future to take from me and move. It's kind of like passing down. There's a passing down from the older artists in the museums for us to be like, to reflect and to see how we can take it further when it comes to technique, materials, concepts. The thing that has grounded me in this residency, that I keep affirming, is to be present. This is the best time. Allow yourself to be here, because you deserve to be here right now.